Joining us now with reaction is former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, along with Ian Millhiser, a senior fellow at the Center for American Progress. Corey, let's start with you. Congrats on the book, big #1 on Amazon today. Very proud of you. Corey, this is all being pinned on Donald Trump. Donald Trump's failing. His popularity is at an all-time low. It's at 32%. His agenda's going down the tubes, and Alabama's conservative, but they're kind of done with Trump. That's what the left is wishing.
Well, and that's what the mainstream media has continued to say. You know, you saw the story that came out. 90% of the media coverage of Donald Trump on the 3 major networks have been negative. And what we know about the Alabama races, number one, Roy Moore was a terribly flawed candidate. Number two, the Republican Party was half in the race and half out of the race. And I fault some of that on the political operation of the White House. You know, what we see is you've got a U.S. senator who's from the state of Alabama who's saying, I'm not going to support this person. The Republican Party is in the race. Then they pull out. Then they go back in the race. Look, it's very difficult when you have a candidate that doesn't have support from everybody. And he was a fundamentally flawed candidate. He didn't talk about the issues that Alabama cares about. He didn't discuss illegal immigration. He didn't discuss coming to Washington and supporting the president's tax cuts. He didn't discuss saving the Second Amendment. He didn't discuss any of those things.
Oh, he fought.
And he
well, what he did, Corey, what he did was he kept saying, "Oh, Mitch McConnell, I'm going to go after McConnell." I mean, that's not the kind of bravado you want. You want someone who has a sober, smart approach to politics. And it was, you know, Drudge is a little crazy. He comes across as a little, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be uncharitable. I'm sure, it's maybe being uncharitable, but it came across as is odd. I mean, that interview with Hannity was odd. I don't think he acquitted himself well. My instincts, I'm sorry, but when I don't listen to my instincts, I usually get in trouble. My instincts was that it didn't ring true to a lot of people. And I think a lot of women felt like I felt after that.
And Laura, he took the weekend off before the election to go away with his wife. I mean, this is not what candidates
he'll have a lot of time to do
when
that
they're trying
now.
to run for office.
Yeah, let's get Ian in here. Ian, obviously a good night for Democrats, surprised to win that seat. But a rejection of Trumpism in Alabama. Are you really trying to sell that?
Well, you know, there are some very credible allegations against this guy. I think that alleged sex offender is not a trait that any party should look for in a candidate. I also think that if someone else who had multiple serious allegations of sex offenses against them were to run in 2020, that person would also have trouble with their reelection.
Well, you're talking about Trump?
Of course.
So you guys are banking on the fact that Al Franken's out of the way. I guess he's going to resign ultimately, right?
It looks like it. He said he will.
He said he will. So Al Franken's out of the way. Conyers is out of the way. There'll probably be other revelations in this slush fund. Maybe Democrats. There are more Democrats in these recent revelations than Republicans. And you think at that point the nation will just rally to these old allegations and say, okay, let's relitigate what we heard in October of 2016. Economy's booming, things are looking up, but let's get rid of Trump because of these old allegations, really?
I think
that's the Democrat platform?
I think that when you're talking about things like sexual assault or sexual harassment, we should take
He denies the allegations.
I think we should take the politics out of it. And, if you have multiple credible allegations, that person shouldn't be in high office.
If someone accused you of something from 20 years ago and you denied it, would you think it would be fair?
There are a lot of women.
Would it be fair for people to say, God, he's accused, and actually 3 women? What if you were innocent?
There are a lot of women. There's a tape where he said something that I'm not sure that I can repeat on TV. So
but do you
I
think
believe
every woman who makes an allegation is telling the truth?
I believe these allegations. And regardless, I think we should just take
Al
the politics
Franken said
out
the
of
allegations
it.
of him are
I think Al Franken should be out of the Senate.
He said the allegations
against
Donald
him
are false.
I think that Al Franken should be out of the Senate.
No due process.
I believe those allegations. I believe the allegations against Donald Trump. I think that sexual harassment, sexual assault is just not something we should play politics with.
I just want to
do it, you're
understand
out.
I want to understand these new rules. If a woman makes an allegation, a man does not really have a right to defend himself and does not have a right to be heard in a fair and reasoned process.
I think at the very least, if you are on tape
10 years,
admitting
20
to the
years,
allegations, then we can trust them.
Well, he's not admitting to it. He's not. That's a false way of characterizing it.
You know what he said. I'm not sure that I could repeat it on the air.
But that's a false way of characterizing it.
Laura,
go ahead,
Laura, This is the hypocrisy of the left. You know, Al Franken not only admitted to it, but we have photographic evidence that he's groping women while they're asleep. And then he says, well, these accusations aren't actually true about me, and I'm going to resign. But what day did he say he's going to resign? Because I don't see it. He's still sitting there every day. So what is the day that Al Franken is leaving the Senate? And where is the call from his colleagues to walk away? What day is this going to happen?
Well, I don't think. I have a feeling that Al Franken may not leave the Senate. I think now that Doug Jones is in there, I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't. But my friends, we have a lot to get to, and a picture